Hi, what's your name?
My name is Pratha.
Hi, Pratha. What do you do?
I'm an inter-culturalist.
All right. What's your sustainability take?
My sustainability take is that Indigenous community and tribal people are the OG sustainability influencers.
Interesting. Tell me more.
I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel with sustainability anymore. I feel that the timeless wisdom that the Indigenous people and tribal community has to offer, we can just translate that into modern society. We can just translate that into our daily lives. I have examples.
Okay. I wasn't convinced, but yeah, give me an example.
The first example I can give you is out of the Kodwa community in Karnataka and the Khasi community in Meghalaya. They have something called the sacred groves. So even though they need the land there in order to sustain, but there's part of the forest that they do not touch at all because they find it sacred and to maintain the biodiversity of the land. I think we should do that too. There should be, as we are building cities, especially megapolises, we need to have some sort of sacredness when it comes to nature and build around it as opposed to through it.
So nobody owns this land.
That's another community, by the way.
Oh, okay.
There is this community in Orissa, which is a tribal community in Orissa. I forget the name. They are part of the Niyamgiri forest. Nobody owns land because, again, they consider that as sacred land. So it's co-ownership of land, not one person owns it.
Community-owned land.
Community-owned land.
Right.
Also, in Ladakh, the way the melted glaciers, the way it's managed, the water management, is done in a way that everybody has equal distribution of water because not one person owns nature more than the other. Which again, equality,
So
equal distribution.
What's the incentive of preserving this? Is it purely community driven? Is it for future generation? What's the thinking?
Talking about future generation, there's another indigenous community called the Iroquois, and the way they make decisions is that any decision you take today, you should take it with respect to how it will affect 7 generations ahead. So yes, it's about preservation of biodiversity, preservation of nature, also thinking about the future, but at the same time, how does everybody from the community benefit and how do you live in tandem with nature and tandem with everybody around you?
So it's like wealth accumulation, and instead of giving your kids inheritance, you're giving them nature
And knowledge. And I just feel
knowledge.
yes, and you're using that knowledge which is
How to
largely
preserve.
timeless.
Oh, wow.
It's largely timeless knowledge which we can use, not only people from the tribal communities. And I mean, one way in which something similar is happening now is that there's a place called Kensington Market in Toronto. Even they have issued community bonds where everybody has equal ownership of the land so that Kensington doesn't get gentrified, their culture is preserved.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I feel that's the same principle that they are applying. And there are many companies like Patagonia that do make decisions taking into consideration sustainability. I mean, I'm naming companies one doesn't know,
Right.
but it's not impossible.
So let me ask you this. All right. How do you think we can learn from this in terms of sustainable development? Because usually when you think about development, community and nature is often second priority, right? How can we learn from this?
I mean, that's the take, right? I want the mindset to change. I want mindset to go from scalability to community. I think when there are multiple bubbles of community taking action for themselves and for the nature around them, that has big impact. Because I think in modern society, modern thinking, industrial thinking is basically about scale. And scale is what brings down nature, brings down harmony in many ways. So I think the idea of businesses being only about scale, that mindset has to change. And you have to come back to community thinking.
So instead of wealth and profit accumulation, you're saying let's preserve the nature and also give knowledge to our children of how to preserve them instead of, let's say, how to get business or
Listen, I'm a Mumbaikar, so I come from a very capitalistic city. I come from a very...
Doesn't that make you an outcast in Mumbai?
Clearly. That's what I'm not. That's what the thing is. I come from a very capitalistic city. I don't think the profit has to be independent of how you are functioning. I have a feeling they can function together, and indigenous communities they've been sustaining that way. We can just translate that wisdom into how we interact with each other. And businesses interact with the world.
That's also a little bit away from what we do, which is basically let's bring indigenous people to the urban sector, to sustainable development, and teach them modern skills, right? But what you're saying is let's copy the indigenous people more because they know what they're doing.
Yes.
I like that. Thank you. I 100% agree with that sustainability.
Thank you. It's impossible not to.